How does the Milwaukee Impact driver bit set stack up to the competition? That and more coming up next. Recently, I reviewed the Milwaukee 54-piece Impact driver bit set. It's part of their modular pack-out kit, and you get a nice variety of bits, a lot of common sizes that you might need, especially if they're worn out or you break them. Major issues I had were getting access to the second tier of things, and the magnetic bit holder was problematic, so I actually subbed it out. If you want to learn more about this kit, go to the link at the end of the video or up here, top corner of the screen. Anyway, so I was wondering, could they improve on this? And thanks to the Home Depot Seeds program, we're looking at the Milwaukee Impact driver bit set. It's 100 pieces. So let's open this up and see if it's better. So unlike the 54-piece set, this one comes in a box instead of a blister pack. You get 2 cases. And this one looks identical to the 54-piece set. We open it up, and we have a plethora of tools, a little container here. And so let's see if we can quickly go through what's in this part of the kit. On the top tier, and sometimes it's hard to make out what's in here, they're laser etched, but because of the way they drop in, they don't always line up. So let's start over from the right-hand side. T15, T10, T10, that's a square 3, a square 3, I believe, square 2, and it looks like a square 2, yes. Dropping down below, T15, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and a 25 at the end. Now you have 3.5 inch, I believe these are, in the back. And in order to get access to them, you actually just grab and tilt forward, and this whole thing tilts up, which is nice. These don't pull right out. Basically a 2-hand operation to get them out, which I can't do because I have a camera in the other hand. But the one good thing is that if the case gets knocked around, none of these are going to jiggle out. The annoying part is you'll have to tilt this out to get access to the back bits, and you'll need to pull them out with 2 hands. The front ones are easy. They just tilt up and out, drop back in. Be careful when you drop them back in that you can at least try to face the markings to the front. Though again, depending on how they line up, they're usually off to the side, which is sad. Now you would think that the right side 2-tier would also tilt forward, but it doesn't. You have your 1 inch. These are Phillips, Phillips 1, Phillips 1, Phillips 2, Phillips 2, Phillips 2, Phillips 2, Phillips 2, a Phillips 2 here. And these all just tilt up and out to get to the second tier. You have 3 nut drivers, a 3/8, a 5/16, and a 1/4 inch. And these pretty much come out with ease. When you're trying to get back to these, they're not too bad. What do we have here? A T25 and a T25. Then we have a magnetic bit holder. And again, you just have to tilt, and sometimes it will get in the way of the lower bits. And if so, then you just move those out. But this whole section will not tilt forward to give you access. Now, this magnetic bit holder does have a clamp, so we'll test to see if it easily frees up, because that was an issue with the 54 where it wouldn't release and you actually needed to use a pair of pliers to separate the bit from the holder. And that finally leaves us with this compartment here, which seems to be a catch-all of everything else, because there are 3 individual compartments and it's just a mixed bag of bits in all three of them, which, you know, you figure this is really nice because it keeps your bits organized. You can easily find what you're looking for each time, whereas this might as well just been one big open box because it's just a mix of bits. So not doing me any favors here. The one thing you can do is, because this is modular, you can actually take this out and take this with you. So that's kind of convenient, but you still have to dig through the mess of bits to get to the one you're looking for. And by the way, that came out easy because I had already pre-loosened this side, but once you drop it down and it latches in, then it's really hard for it to come out. You basically have to pry something on the side so it unhinges from one end and then you can lift it out. So very secure. Piano hinge, so it's not really going to fall apart on you. They lock, which is really nice. If you drop it on a cement floor and you shake it around, it seems to do quite well without anything coming loose. Oh, well, that's not true. These two came loose. Generally, if they're fully seated, they won't come out. So I will take the blame on that because I believe I didn't seat these when I was showing them to you. But yes, when fully seated, they will stay in place. So that's great. Then we come over to the second box in our collection. And what you'll immediately notice is that it has a transparent top, which they don't have with this or the 54, which is really interesting because obviously they can do it. And wouldn't it be so much easier to look at the box and go, oh yeah, these are the long bits, whereas I want to get to the shorter bits. And you can only do that with a transparent top. So we have a 2-inch, 3.5 inch, I believe, and then 2-inch bits. These, do they come out together? I hope so. Yes, they do. These will tilt forward, rather stiff, but there you go. So you have access, and again, it's going to be a two-hand operation when you're done. If you fully seat them, they won't come loose. So that's nice. These tilt forward and out. And again, it's the piano hinge, locking side. He said locking side. And they won't shake loose on you. The one thing I don't like about this system, because when I heard modular pack-out system, I thought, well, gee, that means that, you know, you can probably lock this case onto this case. And while there are little tabs here that mate with the bottom, so you can indeed stack them, they don't lock together. So they're still loose. It's not like the DeWalt kit, which includes transparent top. And then when you have two of them, you could stack one on top of the other, just like you can with the Milwaukee. But when you lock the bottom one, it holds on to the top one. And you only have to clamp on one side to do that. So I think this is a nice system because that way you can just tote around two things, get into this one. Again, we have a transparent top so we know what's inside. I go, oh yeah, that's the thing I need, but I want to keep these together so that they don't get separated. And voila, they're locked together. I think this is just a far better system for this type of storage versus putting these into a bigger box where you can actually see what's inside and not having a transparent top. But now, let's check out this magnetic bit holder and see if it has the issues that the 54-piece kit had. So here we have the Milwaukee magnetic bit holder, 2 Phillips magnetic bits that came with the kit. And by the way, everything's magnetic, which is really nice. And then here's somebody else's magnetic bit holder. The difference between, besides one being chrome and Milwaukee's being a flat black, is that this one has an internal spring clamp inside besides the magnet. So there are two ways of securing it, which is really great if you're fastening something and your bit tends to stay with the fastener when you pull back on the holder. So then you may want this. Let's see, we drop one in here and it's kind of tight. The other one's running away, it's camera shy. We drop this one in and it fits nicely, very little pressure. Now to remove the Milwaukee, all I should have to do is just pull on it, and that's not the case. With this one, I just pull and it comes loose, and it's strong enough not to come out regardless of how much I shake it. So now, of course, my solution is to come in here with a pair of tools to free up this. And maybe there's a better way of removing this, and if so, let me know, because it shouldn't take this much force to release your bit from a magnetic holder, even with a spring clamp. I mean, there should just be an easier way to do that. And you know, what ends up happening is, because you're applying a plier to this, you're going to end up putting some, at least, cosmetic scratches on it, and maybe even damaging the bit itself. But the point is that I don't like this. It's just too much holding force. If there was a way around it, maybe a button I could push to release, that would be nice, but there isn't, so that's still my pet peeve with these Milwaukee sets. While these bits will work with either a drill driver or an impact tool, you may be asking yourself, why do I need the three different sizes? 1 inch, 2 inch, 3.5 inches. And all these will work on either tool. Obviously, if you're using the 1 inch, you'll probably want to use an extender because it won't fit into an impact tool, whereas this will fit into the drill driver. However, your visibility will be quite limited as it will be close to the work. And that's where the longer bit comes in handy. And still even longer. This way you don't need an extension holder on your tool. You can just go with something long that gives you a nice view of the area that you're trying to work in. So what do I think of the Milwaukee 100 impact driver bit set? Well, you get 100 bits, that's for sure. Some of them are totally disorganized, which I don't like. For my particular needs, I don't think I'm going to need as many long bits as this kit comes with. I do like the transparent cover because it does let you see inside. I wish they would adapt that to more of their boxes like this brand does. And also, I just think it's just way too many tools. And the 54-piece set gives you, a socket adapter that you don't get with this kit. And you get the 3 magnetic drivers. You get a magnetic holder. Of course, you'll want to replace that unless you want to struggle with trying to remove the bit from the magnetic bit holder as you would in this case. But I think this is just a nicer kit. It gives you a bunch of shorts, but you have the magnetic holder to deal with those. And then you get some longer ones that you might need. So overall, I find the 54 to be just one thing I can lug around, and I can certainly write on the box what's inside versus carrying 2 of these around. So unless you have a special need for 3.5 inch bit drivers, this would not be my choice. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.